about 9.4. 9.4 is about graphing different types of functions. Okay, we're going to graph ellipses today.
So basically like an oval.
Wait.
Yes, like an oval.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to graph like an oval. That's what an ellipse is.
You want to sit up here?
We're up to you guys.
You want to sit up here?
No, I like this test.
Okay, well, we don't understand your homework. It's okay.
So we're going to graph them and write equations of them. Okay, so we have ellipses, and there are two different ways they can be graphed. They can be graphed longwise or like stretched out, like height or wide, okay? Wide or skinny. So if we graph them, we have several different points that we need to talk about. They have two focuses, two vertices, and two co-vertices. Okay, so if I graph one this way, okay, they're kind of like footballish shapes. Okay, vertex, vertex, co-vertex, co-vertex, and focus.
So what's the difference between a co-vertex?
That's what we're gonna talk about. That allows me to know what equation,
That
that allows me to know what equation I'm using. So, if your vertex, your vertices, are on the x-axis, your equation looks like this. X squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. They are always set equal to 1. So if your equation is not set equal to 1, you have to divide by whatever it's set equal to so that it will say 1 on this side. Okay? So you get x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared. These are going to tell me some things, okay? When it's horizontal like this, the plus or minus a, 0, is my vertex. That's how I find my vertex. I take whatever a is, take the square root of it, and the positive of that and the negative of that is my vertex. Okay? To find the co-vertex, you take 0 plus or minus b. So you take the square root of b, and you get your co-vertices. That's how I graph this. Now the focus, okay? The focus comes from something else. It's my c. Okay, it's my c. And you're going to use this equation to find your focus. Focus is c squared equals a squared minus b squared. Okay, a squared minus b squared. So my focus is my c.
Ugh.
And your focus depends, in this case, your focus is plus or minus C0. Because your focus has to go on the same line as your vertex.
When we did that one lesson with the FP,
Yes,
so isn't focus,
it always is on the inside of that parabola.
isn't it P? Or,
Yes, on that, the focus is your P.
like, so we can still write P equals? Or do we?
On this,
on
no, you
this
need to write,
should we F?
you should write C equals.
No, I mean, like, you have focus is that, like, should we just write?
No.
No.
I'm really confused now.
There's no P in here. We're gonna do it with numbers in just a second. Give me a second. I think it's easier with numbers. Okay, pretend like this is pretty. Just so you know. I'm not good at this. Okay,
Not good.
so when you have it vertically, okay, it looks like this. Your vertices are on the y-axis and your focus, okay? Notice how the focus is always on the inside of my shape as well, just like my parabolas, okay? Your vertices are on the y, and your co-vertices are on the x. Now, here's the deal. This formula changes. You still have x squared plus y squared, and they're still over something. These two things switch places because my A is my vertex, my B is always my co-vertex. So it's gonna say B squared here, and it's gonna say A squared here, and it equals 1. So your vertex is 0 plus or minus A. Your co-vertex is plus or minus B0 in this case. Okay? I still use this same equation to find my focus. Okay, so my focus is still C squared equals A squared minus B squared. And my focus is now going to be 0 plus or minus C, because it falls on the same line that your vertex is on. I'm going to show you the numbers. Let's look at this equation. Okay. 4x squared plus 25y squared equals 100. Okay? Now, how do I figure out what type of equation this is? Because technically this looks like a circle, yes?
Yeah.
Okay? But it's not, okay? Because a circle, here's how I know it's not a circle. There's never going to be something attached to the x squared. It would be added to it, but not attached to it. So you're not multiplying it, you would add it together. So x
Oh, I know
squared
that.
and y squared are being multiplied by something, that's why I know it's not a circle. It's an ellipses. Now, an ellipses is always set equal to what?
1.
So how do I get this set equal to 1? You divide by,
Divided by 100.
divide by 100. Divide this whole equation by 100.
Oh.
So then you have 4x squared over 100, right? Plus 25y squared over 100 equals 1. Reduce this. What's 4x squared over 100?
1 over 25.
It's x squared over 25. Good, that's the form we wanted in. Now, 25y squared over 100 reduces to y squared over what?
4.
4. Now, this is how I know which way my graph is going. Which of these is larger?
25.
The 25. So my graph is gonna look like this.
So whatever side's larger is whatever.
Well,
Yes.
isn't that technically smaller though?
No.
Because you're dividing by 25.
No, no,
That's
no.
not,
That's
I know
not-
what you're getting.
don't-
So don't think of it as a fraction,
Right.
just think about which.
Which
denominator.
numbers, which denominator is larger? Yes.
That's gonna confuse me.
Okay, so to find the A, this is my A squared currently equals 25, yes? And B squared currently equals 4. Because this is A squared, this is B squared, okay? So to find what I'm graphing, I have to take the square root of 25. What's the square root of 25?
Plus or minus 5.
Plus or minus 5. That's my vertex. Plus or minus 5, 0. What's the square root of 4? Plus or minus 2, good. So that's my co-vertex. 0 plus or minus 2, okay? From there, I can graph that. I'm just gonna label this 5 and 2, because I don't feel like drawing it out right now. Okay, so let's say this is my graph. Now, the only thing I'm missing on this graph is what?
Focus.
Your focus, and how do I find the focus?
It would be c squared equals a squared minus b squared.
Well, a squared
Oh, okay.
minus b
Yeah.
squared. So 25 minus 4, yes.
And then
So c squared equals 21, yes.
Yeah.
And then take the square root of 21. What's the square root of 21 come out to be?
You got.
You're gonna give me a decimal. Because you have to graph it, so you're gonna give me a decimal.
Oh, this is not that hard.
It's really not, that's why I said you
It
can.
just looks really confusing when you're describing.
It's like super easy steps.
It's not hard. It's just gonna take a long time.
So it's plus or minus 4.60. And remember, I put this in the x spot because we're graphing it on the x-axis. So then I have 4.6 here, vertex, or focus, 4.6 here, focus. This is my vertex, my vertex, my co-vertex, my co-vertex. And that's how I want everything labeled. You'll show me here what they are, and then you'll show me on the graph which is which. Cool? Ask-
So we have to, so what do you want us to show as far as work?
All of this?
Just everything in blue?
Yes.
Huh?
Now, let's talk about creating an equation off of a graph they give us. Okay? Write an equation of the ellipses that has a vertex at 0, 4. Okay? So my vertex is 0, 4. Okay? Has a co-vertex at negative 3, 0. And it has a center of 0, 0. Okay? Right now, we're doing all of these at centers of 0, 0. And it wants an equation of this. Okay. So, look at the vertex, or the co-vertex. That will tell me which equation I'm using. So, what equation am I using? Am I using x squared over a squared, or is x squared over b squared in this case? Is this going to be a horizontal graph or a vertical?
It would be x squared over b squared.
Correct. It's vertical because my A is in the y spot. My vertex is in the y spot. So I know that the equation is going to say x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. Okay. What's my b?
-3.
Yeah, what's negative 3 squared?
9.
What's my a?
4.
And what's 4 squared?
16.
So there's my equation. Okay, there's my equation. Let's look at one more, okay, where they give us a focus and a vertex, and we have to come up with an equation. Okay, so they give us a focus of negative 4, 0. Actually, they give us this. They give us a vertex of negative 8, 0. Vertex, negative 8, 0. Focus, 4, 0. And they want us to come up with an equation. Which equation is it? Is it x squared over a squared, or is it x squared over b squared? Is it horizontal or is it vertical? What do you think? Well, where's my vertex? Is it in the x or y spot? It's in the x spot. So if it's in the x, that means the a is under the x. Okay, so your equation should say x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. Okay, we have an a, so we can plug that in. What's negative 8 squared?
64.
So I get x squared over 64 plus y squared over something equals 1. Do we have a b right now?
No.
No, because I don't have the co-vertex. How can I find the co-vertex?
It's
You can do the formula for the sets.
Yes, the c squared minus.
Yeah.
Okay, c squared equals a squared minus b squared.
so okay.
So c squared is
4.
so 16 when I
Oh
squared,
yeah.
and a squared was 64 minus b squared.
So then
So-
you add or
No, subtract 64 from both sides, and you get negative 6, 5, 4, 14 minus 6 is 8, negative 18, is that right?
I got -48.
48, that's what I meant. I lost that number.
Which
Equals negative
wait,
b squared.
Aren't you gonna get?
No, look, it equals negative b squared.
Okay.
Divide by negative 1, b squared equals 48. What's the square root of 48? Oh, actually, I don't have to take the square root because this is b squared, yes? So I go ahead and I plug 48 in here. Boom, equation.
So since we're just trying to find an equation, we don't have to actually plug it in.
Correct, because it's already in the b squared form, and b squared is what we wanted. So I don't have to take the square root of it.